Hello everyone, welcome back to my playthrough of Sweet Transit 1.1. My name is Monica and I am your host. I am playing Sweet Transit on the Steam Deck and I am playing it on an external display. This means that there are likely to be certain differences to the way that I'm playing it if you're playing this either directly on a PC or directly on the Steam Deck itself. Hopefully that does not significantly impact the experience. As I talked about in my last video, in the first video, my goal in producing this series of videos playing Sweet Transit is to talk through some of my experiences as I played the game for the first time, things that I learned from that experience, and hopefully taking the information I learned from that experience and doing a better job on this second playthrough. So this is intended for potential new players of the game who potentially could get frustrated by some of the same things that I got frustrated by the first time I played the game. And I wanted to talk through some of my frustrations and some of the ways to resolve some of those frustrations. I also hope that this series is of interest to players who have previous experience with Sweet Transit. In either case, I welcome your comments below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if you have questions about how to do things or about how I'm playing the game. All right, so first time out, I started the game. I built my first settlement, Madrid, and I built my first few industries. So the big question is where to go next. Before I get into that, I want to go back and check how things are doing, how we did last time. I'm not intending to do a full check every time I play, but I think it's useful as a reminder that basically this is something you should be doing. I'm sure sooner or later I'm going to end up not checking some of this stuff and then have a crisis when things aren't working the way I expect or need them to. So I'm going to start with the industries that I've built. You can access the industries from these tabs up here. We have various tabs that are giving us general information about the state of the game, the total population, what the total population is, and the breakdown of what kind of workers they are. Right now, everyone in the population is a laborer. The cities or the settlements I've developed only have one, Madrid, which is a hamlet. The manufactories we have developed, the coal mine and the sawmill. This is a giant button that will always take you back to the warehouse so you can check on the warehouse status, a list of all the trains we currently have, a list of all the stations we currently have, and financial information. How are we doing? How much money do we have? And what is our net financial flow? So I actually wanted to start with the fishing dock, which was the first industry that we built, but isn't a separate industry like the ones that were listed up top. And check in on the status of the fishing dock. As you can see, we have 20 laborers working at the fishing dock. Because this is the only industry actually in the village of Madrid, there's an efficiency bonus, so it's working at 105% efficiency. The workers get tired as they work. You can see what their average rest is, or when we look at the workers, we can see what their average rest is, which is 95%, which is good enough to get 100% productivity. As the workers get tired, they will return to their homes and new workers will replace them. That happens automatically. The workers are producing 21 fish per minute because of that 5% efficiency bonus. They are delivering, so right now in the warehouse, or right now in the fishing dock, we have storage for a total of 200 fish, and there are currently 94 fish stored here. The workers from the fishing dock carry the fish to the small storage. You can see we have a potential rate of 31 per minute, so the fishing dock is close enough to the storage that all of the fish that are produced can be carried to the fishing storage. But we can see the small storage itself is full. Its maximum capacity of fish is 500, and there are 498, more or less, fish currently there. The reason why is because the market, which takes fish from the storage, itself has a maximum capacity of 293, or has a maximum capacity of 300, so it's basically there. So basically the market is as full as it can possibly be, therefore there's nowhere for the fish to go from the small storage, therefore there's nowhere to go from the fish from the fishing dock, and so things are pretty well stocked. All right, I'm going to interrupt this because we have news of the rail for day 3. Train rival in development. There has been an unsettling rise in ludicrous suggestions that trains may not be our future. Rumors say that there is a vehicle in development that seeks to rival and surpass the train. We could not follow up, however, as the people behind these rumors have gone quiet to cover their tracks. Hopefully, we will get more information about that soon. So, the market has 20 workers employed. Again, 0 of them are currently tired. The workers will automatically replace themselves from the surrounding housing as they need to. Other thing to point out here is where do I need to go for this? Might as well find this right now. For Madrid itself, we can see there is, at this moment, 918 fish stored around the village. And our global stats tell us that our production rate is 21 per minute, the consumption rate is 7 per minute, and so we have a balance of positive 14 a minute. So we are producing more fish than we can consume, which generally is the state that we want to be in. I believe all of these rates are per minute, and that's per minute of real time, which corresponds to an hour of game time. I'm pretty sure it's how all those numbers work out, although I've never actually verified that that is correct. So that was our first industry. It's doing pretty well. Our second industry is the sawmill. Repeat all of this. 40 workers, again, being pulled from the village. All 40 of the workers are currently tired, and so need to swap out. They should do that automatically soon. The sawmill is producing 60 per minute. The sawmill itself has storage of 1,000 pieces of wood. The wood is delivered directly to the warehouse. We can see that the warehouse currently has itself nearly 1,000 pieces of wood. And so is currently at its maximum. So things to look at here are our potential maximum production of wood is 60 per minute. We are well below that because we just can't store any more wood anywhere else. Our current upkeep is 13 per minute. Our potential is 30 per minute. Basically because I'm pretty sure it's because the sawmill itself is not sure why. I'm sure I can track this down if I need to. Whatever we have where the consumption is lower than it could be because it just doesn't need to be higher than that right now. The key thing here again is that our current actual production is higher than our current actual upkeep, and our potential production is higher than our potential upkeep. So things look good. for our wood production. And then finally, we want to check our coal mine. Our coal mine, again, we have 40 workers. None of them are tired. As the workers get tired, they will automatically get replaced by workers coming from Madrid on the train line we have built out. Our total production is 60 per minute. Right now we have 0 coal stored here because it's all being delivered to the station. We can see we have 79 coal at the station. We also have 0 workers waiting at the station. As they get tired, they will wait at the station for the train to come and bring them back to Madrid. We have that one train going around carrying coal. It delivers coal to the station, which is currently at 491, again, very close to its maximum capacity. And then we also have this courier shack, which is carrying coal at a rate of 26 per minute to the warehouse. And the warehouse itself is at maximum capacity at 500. So everything is running well. The other thing to look at right now is Madrid itself has a population of 295 laborers total who are paying $1,720 in taxes. That is the main source of income. The workers on the whole are happy. And we can see our rest-work balance. We have 140 workers currently working at our various work locations. We also have additionally around 90 resting. The number seems to be jumping up and down a little bit. So those are tired workers who are recovering from the work, and we have 68 laborers resting. You want to have a good pool of resting workers so that as the workers get tired, you can easily replace them. There are various other pieces of information about how Madrid is doing, which we don't need to go into the details right now. Like I said, I'm not usually going to go through that full review every episode, but I feel like it was important to do it once, just to keep in mind that these are things that we need to keep track of as the game continues. I will probably forget and probably end up having various crises that I need to deal with. Speaking of crises, we can look at the current problems that we have, and we have 2, which we can actually see on the screen. There are 2 locations where people are unhappy. It's going to be these 2 residences. They are unhappy because the giant red apple means that they are out of range of the market. So we need to do something about that. Unfortunately, the easy thing to do about that is going to be to just remove those laborers' residences for now. We'll be able to expand the range of the market later. If we click on the market itself, the highlighted roads show the effective range of the market. Any residences which are built on the highlighted roads can reach the market. Any residences which are not, like those 2, cannot reach the market and are out of range. So we'll need to fix that. I'm going to do that while I also work on my other objectives. So the big question here is, having built out all of the things we've done so far, what to do next? Everything up through building the rail line and having the routes running for the coal mine station is completely standard at the beginning of every game. Pretty much you must do everything that I did in the first episode in the order that I did it. But now we have options, and so the question is, what should we do next? And the way to figure that out is to look at the progression list. The progression list, we have progression both for every individual settlement that we have in the game. which you will only see if you have a particular settlement currently selected. And we also have the global progression. And the progression here is a list. It shows you things you've already done. If you mouse over any one of the things you've already completed, it shows you what your reward was for completing that item in the progression. You can see everything that we did in the village of Madrid, unlocked new things which we did. We built building the village hall, created the village. We had to build the fishing dock to unlock small store and unlocked the fishing dock. We had to build the fishing dock to unlock small storage. We had to build the small storage to be able to build residences. We had to have a bunch of laborers to be able to build the water tower, but we needed the water tower to be able to build the market. The next major unlock in the village is going to reach the population of 500 total workers. So we need to build more residences so we can do that. Meanwhile, in the global progression, the same thing. After we built the warehouse that unlocked being able to build the village hall, we had to expand the village hall to unlock all of the relevant things. This says we often have separate unlocks for both at the global scale and at the settlement scale. And you may need to do things in both places in order to unlock things. So this says at the global scale, you need to build a village hall to unlock all of the things that we just built in the village. On the other hand, you can't actually build these in the village until you go through the unlock sequence in the village. But having built the water tower in Madrid, that unlocked the market. We built the market, which unlocked the sawmill. We hit our first population milestone to unlock the coal mine. You have to build the coal mine itself before you can start building out the stations. You have to build the stations before you can unlock the train depot and various other parts of the rail network. You have to build the depot in order to unlock your first trains. And again, then our next major goal is to have a population of laborers. We only need 400 laborers to unlock the next thing in the global progression, which is going to be the potato farm. So that's the next thing to work on. It's also useful. The list shows you the current things we have done and also the current next steps that are unlocked. It can also be useful to open up the progression tree, which shows us where we are going. Again, we have separate trees at the global scale and also for each individual settlement. For Madrid, the step we are currently at is build a market, which we've done, which means that we now have to make sure that all of our villagers have access to the market. The next step in the progression is to build the stoneworks, which requires a population of 500 laborers. But we can see there are several other steps in the progression after that for the village. We can come back to the global progression. Again, we can see that we've completed a bunch of things. In some cases, there are forks in the progression. After we built the market and unlocked the sawmill, there are actually two next steps. The first is once we've transported enough wood, upkeep begins. Up until that point, we don't have to pay to have, we don't have ongoing payments associated with all of our buildings. Once we've established that we can regularly produce wood, we now do have to worry about upkeep for all of the buildings we build. We also unlocked the other things in the main tree. Up to the last thing we've unlocked was the train depot, as I said, which unlocked the trains. So the next unlock is we need to reach a population of 400 laborers so we can build the potato farm. And then once we've done that, again, we're going to have multiple branches. And we can continue to expand our once we unlock the potato farm by reaching our population of 400 laborers, we can see the rest of the unlock list at the global scale, things to look forward to. We are also generating stamps by completing various tasks. That these stamps will eventually allow us to upgrade various elements of the game. But we cannot do that yet. We don't have to worry about it quite yet. So, we know what we need to do next. We need more housing in Madrid. So let's go ahead and start building out more housing. Two things to pay attention to: the range of the market and also the range of the train station. Again, when you click on the train station, the highlighted segment of the roads shows how far away workers can be and get to the train station. We can also see for everywhere else in the village, if you click on that thing, you can see how far away workers can be and get to that thing. So this group of residences is supplying the fishing dock. There's a larger group of residences which is supplying the market. The same group of residences that can supply the market, I'm pretty sure, also are supplied by the market. I'm pretty sure that one's symmetric. The warehouse, again, it's these residences are the only ones who can work there. So it's important to keep track of. Make sure you're building residences in places where they can get to. The things we need to do. All right, so talked enough. Madrid. No, Madrid. Where is it? Residences. Let's go. We're going to make sure that everything's in range of hopefully both the market and the train station. So we'll drop both those. We'll drop 3 up here. We'll drop some across the top. Not all of those are in range of the train station. As we can see, we will assume things will work out. Let me put in some more roads. Yeah, so I like this spacing. I like to keep things a little bit spaced out. We will need to be able to build in things between the buildings we already have later and also build other buildings later. So I like to make sure I give space. All right, so as we're building the new residences, okay, sure, that makes sense. That center block is a little bit wider. As we're building the new residences, you can see people are moving in. At this point, I'm going to do a couple more things. I'm going to place another water tower. We'll put the water tower that should up here, cover. I thought that was going to get everybody, but apparently not. So I guess we'll place another water tower here. You can actually see. I think I got my road spacing wrong. Okay, place the water tower first. You're still out of range. Let me get this right. All right, the water tower range is just less than I expected to be. So we're gonna do a couple of fixes. I'm going to remove these 2 residences. They're just We will be able to extend the range of the market, but it's not worth waiting for that. I'm also going to decide I want to change the range, the placement of this road. So we'll remove this road and replace it. I am making questionable choices with a lot of my placements. And we will remove this road and replace it here. There we go. The important thing that happened was, as we were adding residences, workers moved in, laborers moved in. We now have 438 laborers, which is in fact so many that we have 236 laborers currently rested and looking for work. And they're actually getting unhappy because there isn't enough work. But the good news is we unlocked the potato farm. So let's go ahead and build the potato farm. So, potato farm. Potato farm does not need to be in the village. So we will not put it in the village. We're going to put it... We need to develop the rail network in this direction, up here. Because we need access to this iron. We also need access to this clay. And we also need access, I'm pretty sure we will need access to these different terrain types. We're going to want to build down in this direction at some point as well, and figure out what the best way to connect over into this region. I'm sure we're going to be building all of this out eventually. But for now, we want to build up here. So I think the order I want to do things in is build out some rail first. Zoom in, come here, just go, and we will come all the way up to this. Looks good. We will build a second line next to it. We will add the turnaround. And now we will build a new station. Do my usual bit, put the station right here. I want you to be facing that direction. And add a platform next to it. Giving some thought to future expansion here, we will add a road parallel to the station. And on the future expansion front, I'm going to build right out this way. And now I'm ready to build my new potato farm. I say that actually, I want to build some more rail first. I want to have my rail fully built out, and then we will work on building out the potato farm. So we're going to add another connection in this direction. Boom. Since we have a bunch of connections at this point, we need to make sure everything is blocked off with signals. It can be a good idea to use chain signals instead of regular signals when trains are coming together like they are here. I'm saying that and then using regular signals anyway, because I don't think it will matter here. We'll end up finding out. We'll see if I end up regretting what I've just done. We really want these signals to extend all the way out to the next intersection. We want these signals to extend all the way out to the next intersection. Similarly, block off all the intersections. And do I have all three of these fully signaled up? Yes. So now we can do the rest of the loop. And remove the signals from the platform itself. Drop signals at both ends of the platform. And then remove all of the intermediate signals. All right, so now that I have built the station, I've completed the rail. I want to rename the station. This will be Potato Farm Station. Okay, now that I've built the station, I can go ahead and immediately build in the routes. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm actually going to modify this route. First modification, we're not just going to coal anymore. We're going to rename you to Madrid Workers to Industries. And then I'm going to pause the game. Changing our routes, often want to do it with the game paused so that things don't get confused. What's the order that I want to do this in? Add a new destination, which is Potato Farm Station. You can see right now, not the best order to do things in. So we'll go to the Potato Farm Station first. And so now, instead of just looping around between Madrid and the coal mine, this same train will loop around between Madrid, the potato farm, and the coal mine. On the other hand, we'll be producing potatoes. The potatoes want a new route. So this new route will be from Potato Farm Station, where we will load potatoes, again, covering our tracks. Don't want to accidentally load the wrong things. And our destination will be Madrid Station. And so we will rename you as Potatoes to Madrid. We have the new train, which is running already. I'm going to keep the game paused. I'm going to build the potato farm. Like the sawmill, the potato farm needs potato fields. You can see how far away we can extend the potato fields. I'm deliberately building out the fields in a narrow column. We want the full 120, so we'll have the maximum production rate. And then we can also build out our storage, and the storage we'll just put in a line right here. Again, why am I building like this? Because I am expecting to add more potato farms at this station later in the game. I want to be able to expand. Now that we have the potato farm built, we can build our new train. So, new train. Still have no choice about the locomotive. We need the coal tender to have a large enough coal supply. This train will be picking up coal from the platform at Madrid Station. And we have a new type of wagon that we just unlocked, the box wagon. So again, box wagon can carry many different types of cargo. We want to protect ourselves and make sure that we're only carrying potatoes. So we click on L2, the left trigger, probably the right mouse button on Windows to say unlock goods. I'm sort of double protecting myself here because the route says I can only pick up potatoes, and I'm also saying the wagons themselves can only carry potatoes. The reason why is if you forget to do this, your trains can start carrying things you do not intend for them to carry, and that will have serious negative consequences. Okay, potato farm is built, so we can play at normal speed. They'll start coming around. So the question is, what's going to happen to the potatoes? The answer is they get dropped off at Madrid Station. We can see right now, 40 workers immediately ran to Madrid Station so that they can go work at the potato farm. But the potatoes are getting dropped off at Madrid Station. They're just going to sit there right now. We want them to go to the market. The market, in addition to the fish, also wants potatoes. Unfortunately, the market can only take a single input, so it has to pull from the small storage. So our solution is we need a courier. We're going to build a new courier shack, again, right next to the bridge coming from the station. And now we can set our controls on the courier shack. Again, I want to be sure you only want to be carrying potatoes. We do not want to be carrying coal away. And now we can set our input as Madrid Station. We can set our output as, we'll take it to the small storage. So we're sort of adding a step in here, but what it means is everything supplying the market is actually going to the storage first, and then will be taken from the market to the storage. We could have just sent it directly to the market as well. And that carry rate is 45 per minute. So let's double check this. Our potato farm, well, we don't have enough workers here yet. We have to wait for the workers to arrive. But we can see the potential production rate of the potatoes is 60 per minute. So we're going to hope that the train we have running is going to be able to carry that many potatoes to the station. And when it does, we need to make sure we have enough workers at the courier shack to carry all of the potatoes to the small storage. So we'll step up our number of workers, and it looks like 8 will be enough. More than 60, as soon as potatoes start arriving at the station, they'll get delivered to the small storage. And so now we just want to give things a moment for things to carry through. We have the train arriving, should be dropping off workers. Yes, it was carrying 60 workers. So that was 30 workers to the potato farm, and it's now at full capacity. It was also going to be delivering 30 workers to the coal mine because the workers who were there were tired. So we want to change our input storage as well for the potato farm. There's nothing to take from the station yet, but there will eventually be things to take from the station. So we will set that so we're ready. And now our potato train is picking up the first batch of potatoes. We let things run, and the train arrives at the station, delivers the potatoes. You can see there were briefly potatoes on the platform. The courier shack immediately carried all of the potatoes to the small storage, and then the market immediately carried all of the potatoes to the market, where workers from the residences are immediately consuming all of the potatoes. So we might actually need to wait, though the potatoes may actually be en route. Yeah. 25 potatoes en route. There we go. Delivered markets. 25 potatoes en route. Delivered. Workers immediately start consuming the potatoes. So what happens is the residences now have access to potatoes as well as to fish. The bonus for having access to more goods is more laborers are willing to live in each residence. So back to our progression list, or unlock list, we need to reach 500 laborers, both to unlock the next level at the global progression and to unlock the next level for Madrid. So now we just have to wait. While we are waiting, I mentioned the stamps. We have a stamp upgrade available. So we've been producing destination stamps. Destination stamps are added per train visiting a station to perform an action. So every time a train stops, more or less, we get a stamp. Because of the trains we have running, we're currently earning 3 stamps per minute. We have earned enough stamps that we can now upgrade something. Our choices are: we can increase the warehouse build range, we can increase the settlement build range, and that'll apply to every settlement, and we can increase production facilities build range. So all of these are good. The thing that seems good, most good right now, is the settlement build range. So we'll upgrade you. You've increased by 5%. What this means is if we select Madrid and then select something that must go in Madrid, say the small storage, the area of the square in which we can build the small storage is now slightly larger. It will keep increasing as the game goes on, which means that we can build more things. All right, so our workers are now very unhappy. The problem that we face is we have nearly 500 workers, but only 228 of them working. So 242 are currently rested, and they are unemployed and they want more jobs. But another thing to look at is, since we've had a bunch of more workers moving in, we want to check what our fish production and consumption is. Okay, what's going on? This tells us our balance, our consumption is negative 12. Our production is still 21. So we're still actually covered for fish. We're currently importing potatoes at a rate of 35. Our consumption is negative 12. So we're good on that as well. But meanwhile, we did hit our population goal. And so we saw the unlock screen pop up. So we can come down here and double check what just unlocked. In the village of Madrid, we've just unlocked the ability to construct a stoneworks and several other pieces of decoration. Globally, we've unlocked the ability to build a quarry. And we also have a new unlock for producing fish per minute. I'm going to actually double show the progression here. So what's happening is the progression has forked. We've reached this stage in the progression, and we can now have 2 unlocks available: produce fish and build a quarry. At this point, it's sort of important to pay attention to what the unlocks are. If we unlock the fish production, we get some useful rewards. We both get a big cash reward, and we increase the maximum amount of money that we can have. And it also ends up giving us this line of unlocks for increasing consumption or increasing production of different materials. I'm going to assert we don't actually have to worry about this. We're going to hit all of these targets naturally anyway. And so it's not worth the effort to try to increase our fish production. Instead, all we really care about is building the quarry, because that will unlock new buildings for us here. It'll also unlock more capabilities for us in the village. So, we want a quarry. We will come down to our list of industries and select the quarry, and we can see where we can build it. Quarries are a little bit tricky because quarries can kind of be built anywhere, but they can only be built in certain terrain types. And so we want to make sure we have access to the appropriate terrain type. I am straight up dreading having to build the rail network out to connect to the clay, but that is an aside for the moment. We can see generally quarries like to be placed near mountains. The black areas are mountains, and so we need to be near the terrain for mountains. So we are going to build our quarry over here. I'm going to want to be doing the same thing that I did for the potato farm, more or less. Build things out with an eye towards expansion. So I'm going to build the quarry here. It's going to take a little while to have everything set up, since I built the quarry first and I'm going to have to connect it. So I'm going to disable the quarry until everything is built out. Of course, the quarry needs its own local storage. Stone storage, we'll put the stone storage behind it. Now that we have the quarry built, we're going to add a road around the quarry, or near the quarry. Same basic idea as we did with Potato Farm. We're going to build the road out in 2 directions. Now we can build our train station. We'll put the train station right here, and we can control the rotation on all of our buildings. We'll like to get the aesthetics nice, neat. We'll build the platform. I keep building platforms out in only one direction from the station. I don't really need to do that. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to build this platform this way. And now add some rail. Rail 1, rail 2. Again, we'll just add a quick loop right here for now. We're probably going to end up extending this rail line, and we will need to redesign that. Before I forget, we needed to set the input storage on the quarry to the station itself. We need to set the output storage on the quarry to the station itself. whoops, to the station itself. We want to rename the station. We'll call you Quarry Station. We need to add rail. Here we go. Probably need to remove all of these signals. We'll build more signals later. That one might be okay. This rail is the one coming in, so we want to make sure we're connected on both sides. Sure. And then we need the other rail all the way back out. And again, connect in both directions. And signals, the easy ones, block off the intersection. Noticing I can build this rail slightly differently. Just looking at the intersection and wondering why the intersection didn't look symmetric. So that has now been fixed. Block off the intersection, add the signal out. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I probably want to be using chain signals at these intersections. I'm being lazy right now and hoping that won't come back and bite me. The other thing to point out is this intersection is pretty messy with all of the different rails crossing each other. We will eventually be able to build railed bridges, which will make the intersections a lot cleaner. They'll make the intersections larger, but also easier for the trains to pass through them. Right now we can build wooden bridges, but as it says, wooden rail bridges only travel across water. We need to wait until we can build stone bridges to be able to cross rails. So, a little more signal work to do. Remove the signals on the platform. And add signals immediately before and after the 1, 2. So, our new rail line is built out. We're going to extend things the same way we did before. Now I'm going to pause so I don't break anything. We have our workers to industries route. We're going to add another stop. Quarry Station. And again, to make the order make sense, we'll go to the station. We'll go to the quarry first, and then the potato farm, and then the coal mine, and then finally Madrid. Or really, start at Madrid and pick up workers and carry them everywhere else. And the second thing we need is another new cargo route. So, rename this to... So, actually, before I do that, we're not going to rename it first. Important fact about quarries. Quarries produce two different things: stone and sand. We will want to handle those two things separately. Right now it doesn't matter. Right now I'm going to build a single route that will carry both stone and sand to Madrid. I will probably split this out into separate routes later. Okay, so our destination. First destination is the quarry station, which is loading. We're going to add to the filter that we can load stone. No, wrong one. Add to the filter that we can load stone, and also that we can load sand. And then our destination is Madrid Station, where we will unload everything. All right, so I'm going to build out a bunch of stuff before resuming playing. Since I've paused the game anyway, I don't have to keep this disabled. Next up, we need a new train. It still has to be an SD10, although you can see we're getting close to being able to unlock the TT10, which is potentially useful if we want to build a tram line in a settlement. Well, we will want to use that. Coal tender, wagons. So the trick here is that both stone and sand are carried by the gondola wagons. And if we have one train which is carrying both, and we don't specify what they are carrying, the train will choose for us and it will make bad choices. So what I want, we need a lot more stone than we need sand. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have 4 stone wagons, and this last wagon, I'm now going to change your goods to sand. So our potential to carry stone is much higher than our potential to carry sand. That's what we want. Set you to stone and sand to Madrid and deploy. We are now delivering stone and sand to Madrid Station. question is, what are we doing with them once they arrive? The sand goes directly to the warehouse. So I already have this courier shack, which is carrying coal from the station to the warehouse. So I'm going to add a filter and now also carry sand. We don't have to worry about protecting the sand. All of the sand wants to go to the warehouse, so we won't have to do it. We have a concern. Our total throughput is 26.4 per minute. That's coal and sand. We want to make sure that we have enough delivery. So I'm going to increase to 10 workers. And so now our throughput is nearly 60 per minute, which should be plenty. And so that takes care of the sand. The second thing is the stone. Stone itself is not useful. To do anything with the stone, we now need to build in Madrid a stoneworks. And again, industries must be built in stoneworks is an example of an industry that must be built in a settlement. We want the stoneworks to be convenient to the train station. We also want the stoneworks to be convenient to the warehouse. I think my answer is to build the stoneworks here. So the bad news is the stoneworks is far away from the train station. We're going to have to double check our delivery. Our input is going to be the station. Our output is going to be the warehouse. So the stoneworks takes raw stone, which comes from the quarry, and delivers it to, and turns it into cut stone and delivers that to the warehouse. The warehouse needs cut stone. I think everything's set up now. We have the quarry. We've added the quarry stop to the worker line, so we will get workers delivered to the quarry. We've created the new train line, the new train route from the quarry back to Madrid, which is carrying both stone and sand. We are delivering sand from the station to the warehouse. We are also delivering the stone from the warehouse to the stoneworks. The stoneworks doesn't have workers yet, but it will as soon as I turn things back on. Stoneworks also doesn't have water yet, but that may fix itself immediately, or I may need to add in a water tower. We'll find out. And then once it produces the cut stone, it will deliver the cut stone to the warehouse. I think everything is set, so let's go. Okay, we started running. We immediately see that we are out of range of any water, so we're going to immediately add a water tower. I will put you here. So Stoneworks immediately, once it has the water, has 20 workers. That side is good. Our maximum stone production right now is 19 per minute. We have lots of trains going lots of places. We do have kind of an issue where the number of trains which are arriving at Madrid Station is high enough that we're going to have to start worrying about getting all of the trains through. We have this train, which is going to pick up stuff from the quarry. Unfortunately, it can't yet because it doesn't have any passengers. Did you just skip the quarry? You must have been headed directly to the potato farm, right? Which is why you didn't stop. And you were taking 30 workers to the coal mine. Pretty much at this point, our next unlocks are more laborers, transporting enough cut stone, producing lots of stone, producing fish. Let's show the progression. Like I said, the producing fish will take care of itself. Producing stone will also kind of take care of itself. We may need to think about whether we want to increase that. Increasing the population, we'll have to check whether I need to actually work on that or not. And then transporting cut stone, this is actually useful. It allows us to start building stone things. So we want to, that's just a total. So again, that will happen if we wait for it, but we might want to try to accelerate things. Okay, we are just waiting. We will be producing stone at a rate of 30 per minute. We will be producing sand at a rate of 30 per minute. We will be converting stone to cut stone at a rate of 13 per minute. We can add another stoneworks. We can actually add 2 more stoneworks. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll maintain these as a little cluster. both stoneworks know automatically they want to be pulling the stone from the station, and they want to be delivering it to the warehouse, and workers immediately started working everywhere. So now we wait. So questions. What next? So we can look at what things we can build both in Madrid and globally to figure out what we are trying to do next. We can see in Madrid, we can't quite build the House of Worship yet because we need more cut stone. We can now build various decorations to put around the town, which we will want to do. They all require sand. These are also decorations. We can make decorations of all of the trains that we have available to us. We are still waiting to build a stone bridge. We need to be transporting more cut stone for that. We are about to unlock both the new sort of the tram train and also train stops, which are useful for local inside settlement transport. And we are waiting to unlock the cotton farm. The cotton farm requires a population of 800 workers. So I'm going to double check the unlock list. I want to see what the shape of things is. I'm also going to run this at an accelerated rate because we need to be producing cut stone and we need to wait for that. We don't want to wait too long. Okay, so in Madrid, we have a population goal we have a cut stone goal of 200. That's 200 cut stone produced in the village, and that was enough. We just unlocked something that will allow us to unlock the House of Worship. Just happened. Okay. Let me go back to the normal play speed. So we've just unlocked the House of Worship, a new building in Madrid. We have the potential to unlock just a money capacity reward by increasing the size of the village. Building the House of Worship allows us to build out the rest of this stuff. It means that the laborers will get the House of Worship bonus, and we will also be able to build a clothing shop and a bakery. So that's how the settlement is doing. We also need to look at our global unlocks. So we hit our transport cut stone target, which allows us to start building certain stone things, stone roads, and also stone pedestrian bridges, as well as stone train bridges, and also a small storage for the warehouse. We don't need this yet, but I want to call attention to it. We have a small storage already for the settlement. We had that unlocked basically from the start of the game, but we can now build a small storage for the warehouse, which expands the total capacity of the warehouse. I don't think we need this just yet, but we definitely will need it eventually. And so it's useful to be aware of it. Building small storage for the warehouse also can simplify transport. And having unlocked that, we almost immediately unlocked the unlock condition. No, we haven't unlocked this yet. We're not at 60. I don't think we're at 60. We'll double check that. We may be able to build faster trains. We may also be able to build trains that can run in both directions. But really what we're concerned about is we want to be able to build cotton farms. Again, this will happen automatically. That'll be useful, but we don't need to worry about it. And so this is really the critical unlock at this point, that we want to have a population of 800 laborers. So Madrid, we're close. We're at 479. What is the best way to do this? The best way to do it is wait for... Will the House of Worship give us what we need? I'm not actually sure. House of Worship requires 200 stone, but I think we're there. So we can go ahead and build this. Again, the House of Worship, we want to build close to the center of the village. We can see the range of the House of Worship. We want to make sure that every residence in the village is in range of the House of Worship. So we will put you here. The range is actually quite large. And so now that the House of Worship is built, the nearby laborers' houses are all happier. But okay, that did not actually increase the number of laborers who can stay in each one. So let me just build some more housing. Our problem here is where can we build housing which is in range of... I'm specifically worried about making sure that all of our housing is in range of the market. So there we go. We can build housing up here. Can't build housing up there because there is a water tower in the way. I have the same problem over on this side. This actually is in range, so it's good enough. We will build out more housing here and more housing here. We'll build out a little more road. We want to start building out stone roads because stone roads increase the range of everything. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to build our additional housing here and here. people should start moving in. People are complaining they don't have enough work. Always a balance problem. And all right, we can build another house over here, which is in range of the market. And I'm deliberately keeping some open space in the center of town. There are other buildings that I'm likely to want to build there eventually. We'll go ahead and put 2 more over here. At various locations, slowly figure out, oh yeah, water is in range. Oh yeah, the market is in range. And as that happens, the workers start moving in. I'm curious about the fact that, there we go, just figured it out. And a whole bunch of workers moved in. And so our total population is creeping upward. I know there's not enough work. I don't actually want to try to build more stuff until I have the workers that I need so I can get my next unlock. The thing about just continuing to drop more housing in it is that people do move into the new housing, but we already have the problem of there's not enough work, and building out more housing just encourages more people. And building out more housing increases our maximum number of workers who can live in the village. But this is kind of the easy way to get to 800. Come on, people, move in. We also need to check, is it here? Since our number of workers has skyrocketed, we have to worry about our fish consumption. We're still okay. Our production and our consumption are balanced. And potatoes, we still have a little bit of overhead. Okay, we finally got to the stage. We have unlocked the next thing, which is the cotton farm. We want to extend our network. Okay, I want to check the progression tree to see what's coming next. We know we're going to get the cotton farm. That's right here. That will unlock the wheat farm, which will unlock the clay pit. Somewhere in here, we also unlock, yeah, there's the cotton farm. Oh, village hall. I was worried about having to unlock the village hall. Apparently we've already done it. We will take full advantage of this. We will take full advantage of this next time. I think this is the right place to stop for today. Now that we have the potato farm going, or now that we have the quarry going and we're producing stone, and we've unlocked what we need to unlock from the stone, and we can now build a new village hall, which means that we can start building more villages. And so I think what I want to do is next time is stop here for today, celebrate our current gains, and then come back next time and build a new village and figure out where the new village should go. But that's a problem for next time. So, stopping here. Hope you enjoyed this episode. This is where I say like, comment, subscribe. Reminder, if you are new to the game, if you have questions about the game, please leave a comment, ask your questions. I'd be happy to try to answer them. If you have experience with the game and you have additional comments about the game itself or other things I could be doing differently or just general information, that is welcome too. So please leave comments for those as well. And with that, I'm going to stop here. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again. Thanks, everyone.